Hello and welcome to this episode of REKALL. If you're interested in learning about what the Cloud Therapist channel has been doing for the first half of 2025, please keep watching. Hello, my name is Richard Simon. I am Cloud Therapist.
Hello, my name is Saim Safdar and I run the Cloud Native FM YouTube channel.
So we are halfway through the year, right, Saim?
Yes, absolutely, Richard.
Fantastic. So we thought we should really do a kind of a half-year recap, or recall as I call it, and just kind of really take you guys through some of the videos we have released so far on our mutual channels, and to discuss some of the topics we have covered and really share our thoughts on them. So, Saim, are you ready to do this?
Yes, absolutely, Richard. I'm 100% ready.
Fantastic. Okay, Saim, so I think we will start with you first. We've decided to kind of pick on our 3 top videos from the last 6 months, so starting from January onwards. Saim's going to do his top 3 first, and then I'm going to follow through next. So, Saim, over to you.
So if you have been subscribing to the Cloud Native FM YouTube channel, I think I have released as of now 8 videos on my YouTube channel in 2025. I think it's more than around 11 to 12 hours of content in terms of the podcast with some of the very cool guests from the Cloud Native world and also some of the enterprise guests. So one for my favorite big list, I have recorded an episode with KitOps co-founder. And he's a CTO of his company named Jozu. And we talk about the KitOps, an open standard for packaging, managing, and deploying machine learning workload. On that episode, he's talk about moving from model from experimentation, let's say the notebook, through staging to production, often requires multiple packaging steps. You need to run custom script, manual handoffs, and it's hard to trace which exact code, data, and parameters produce a given result. So for that purpose, in that some of these limitations we have, the Jiaozu, the company behind KitOps, created a tool that's called KitOps, and the way they rephrase that, you can use KitOps to create model kit that contains everything needed to reproduce, test, or serve the model, store it in your registry, then pull it into any environment, Kubernetes, serverless, or edge devices, using the same CI/CD workflow you already trusted. So this is episode, I think if you've been living in an AI centric world, I prefer you can go into this episode named KitOps, an open standard for packaging, managing, and deploying machine learning models. So Richard, anything you need to add on this thing?
So that one actually sounds really good, Saim, but unfortunately, I've probably missed that one. So I will have to check it out on your channel.
Oh, awesome. Absolutely. I link those with the guests so see people can actually go watch that episode as well. Oh. Also, my second favorite episode, I did it in January, the very first month of 2025, a state of WASM cloud. We heard about why WASM is being so important to some of the companies and some of the open source world. And we recorded this episode with the guys from Cosmonic, the company behind WASM Cloud open source project. And the way they phrase that, WASM Cloud is an open source actor model runtime that lets you build, deploy, and manage WebAssembly services across any cloud or edge environment. Instead of embedding your business logic directly into containers or VM, you write lightweight actors in your language of choice, compile them into WASM, and let the WASM cloud host handles life cycles, scaling, and inter-service communication. So the things I learned on the episode, that WASM Cloud simplifies the WASM workflow management. Let's say it's called host abstraction. One runtime, the host run actors anywhere, Kubernetes, VM, or edge devices. It has capability providers like cleanly separate business logic from system concern, database, messaging, secret, or you can swap provider at deploy time without changing your code. And it also a distributed actor built-in service discovery and messaging, let your WASM modules talk to each other. It also has automatic scaling and health, host, monitor, actor health, and auto restart or scale them based on the load. And it's also, people like to call WASM Cloud as the unified security model that sandboxes host enforce capability and grant granular access to your workload. So in general, what I learned on this episode, if you need lightweight multi-language microservices, especially at the edge, or want to decouple your function from infrastructure, WASM Cloud give you a friction-free path to build, secure, and operate WebAssembly workload at scale. So Richard, any of your thought on the WASM in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously an up and coming area. You and I've discussed it before. We've covered it. We've talked to people on our live streams, I think from last year as well. So I actually did the talk with Saim Safdar as well, who runs a hosting service, cloud services in the US. So that was like an intro to WASM. But certainly WASM, I think overall is coming in quite a lot. So it's going to be to continue to be really a hot topic. I think it'll probably reach a inflection point that's at some point in the near future, where probably there'll be a lot more focus on it coming through as well from development, other platforms, other solutions as well.
Yes, I think for the viewers, there are more episodes coming up on both of the channels, so pay attention to these YouTube channels.
Absolutely.
So next and the last top 3 episode from 2025 is I did an episode with Nikki Watts, who's been a very central figure in the platform engineering world. And the title of the podcast is Secret Code to Synchronizing Business Outcome with Platform Engineering Initiative. So where Nikki speak about you need to define clear business linked KPIs. You need to adopt agile and lean practices. You need to engage stakeholder continuously, and you build a culture of continuous improvement and education advocacy internally for employees. It's really important. And that is the recipe for aligning incentive to the outcome. She speak about that let's move their vocabulary from the internal developer platform to the outcome-based platform that is more centric to the more of the business owner and plus for the engineering team as well. So by aligning these communication patterns and also these linked KPIs for the business and the tech side, you can embed these practices on the platform engineering team that become a true business accelerator, turning infrastructure and developer tooling investment into the measurable revenue, efficiency, and customer value gain. So if you live in the platform engineering world, I think Nikki Watts' episode is a very, very crucial to listening how to synchronize what you have been doing inside the organization and how to hand it over all of these product at scale to the customer and how align stakeholder with it. So Richard, your thoughts on the synchronization of the platform engineering, and let's move focus to your top 3 videos on the Cloud Therapist YouTube channel.
Fantastic. Yeah. So you're not making it very easy for me, Saim. These are all very good topics, right? So hard to choose one out of those, but definitely, again, you and I have hosted Nikki Watts on our live stream as well. We'll talk a little bit more about those guys in a minute. But certainly, yeah, platform engineering. I think the thing that I've seen this year so far is kind of the expansion of the conversation around platform engineering, and that's, I think, really can only bring goodness. It's not kind of a one track sort of approach, or it's very dogmatic in terms of how it's doing things. It's very kind of wide and open, and there's lots of discussions and therefore lots of solutions coming out. So I think that will be a really valuable one for really both our subscriber bases to check out on your channel, Saim. So we'll obviously include links to all of this stuff in the description of the video. So please do go to that and check out the links. Okay, so on to the top 3 topics for me. Well, I had probably 20 plus videos that I've released so far on on the Cloud Therapist channel, so it was actually quite hard to kind of make a choice out of what was the best ones. But the first one I picked on, I think, was back in March. So this was the I think I called it the there is a great disturbance in the open source. So I was kind of playing on the on the quote from Star Wars around that. This is actually a panel discussion on the ongoing changes that are happening in the open source software space in terms of licensing. So where vendors are really kind of changing from the more traditional open source licensing models to kind of slightly more exotic ones, shall we say. So the guests for that one were Cheryl Hung from ARM, Amanda Brock from Open UK, and Christian Magarhusen Stancier, who's an independent consultant, really cool guy, does lots of stuff around cost optimization. So we kind of went through a review really of the major changes over the past 18 months. So we talked about things like HashiCorp with Terraform, Red Hat Linux changing their licensing, Buoyant with Linkerd and so on. And kind of also looked at the same topic from differentiated views from the industry. So we kind of had Cheryl Hung was kind of more from the sort of vendor space or the industry space. We looked at it from the standard space with Open UK, Amanda Brock's Open UK, and also from kind of the dev world, if you like, the development world as well, with Christian as well. So yeah, lots of great advice also for enterprises and developers to navigate through kind of the minefield that's out there with all these changing licenses. So I thought that was really good talk. And again, as always, I learned a great deal from that.
Yes, absolutely. I think this is very resonating. I think people should listen to this episode because we now live in a very blurry open source market where the trust factor has been losing every day. And I think Cheryl is one of those guests from ARM, and Amanda Brock and Christian is a very good guest who actually been living in this world for a very long time. And their ideology is very important to living and understanding where the open source is going on. But with that, tell us, Richard, your episode number 2. I know it's getting harder for you to pick that from the list.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it is harder. So the second one was actually a debut video on a new channel segment that I launched this year called Solo. So the idea behind Solo is really to, just put out my own thoughts and commentary on various things, various topics and events and things like that, and kind of on my own, just do it on my own without any particular guests. I thought it would be kind of nice to kind of discuss things, from my own perspective. Although obviously I do that on things like class state of play and various other sort of topics. I do kind of have my own angle on things and approach. But I just thought kind of having a little focus on some of those thoughts would be interesting. So the inaugural episode, I called that "What Did Kubernetes Ever Do for Us?" So this was actually looking at Kubernetes. Now it's kind of reached its 10th year anniversary. I shot this actually while I was on a brief holiday last year with some friends in probably the northernmost part of England, so kind of on the border with Scotland, which was quite interesting. So kind of discuss things like how Kubernetes is still hard to do, as people say, complex in terms of implementation, security, configuration, and also most importantly optimization as well. And we also looked at some other technologies and kind of what was there before, and maybe what's kind of coming down the line and challenging it. And as you mentioned, Saim, WASM Cloud, that was one of the sort of challenges that I see coming up to Kubernetes. So whether Kubernetes remains the orchestrator for WebAssembly workloads, or something like WASM Cloud takes over, we'll see what happens. I think some people are trying to make Kubernetes work in that space as well, but it could be perceived as being kind of slightly more too heavy and a little bit cumbersome. So all of that was kind of included. Like I said, with this segment, I'm kind of doing something different. I'm showing something else, not associated with the topic, and then I'm kind of doing a narration of the particular topic that I've chosen. As I said, Kubernetes is the topic for this inaugural episode. So yes, that's in the solo segment. That was the second one. Saim, what's kind of been your thing on Kubernetes? What have you picked up on the sort of the first 6 months of the year?
Yes, absolutely. I think these are our favorite topic. I know most of our channel has been filled with these discussion. We did some KubeCon live stream, and there we actually picked some brain from the real people, from the vendors and the enterprises. What's been is attracting in the Kubernetes space. I think is Kubernetes is becoming boring. It's becoming really boring. Like people, there are some very nerdy people still doing some stuff with the Kubernetes. I think there's one thing they actually been seeing is coming up is like KYML in the horizon, like how to put a JSON format in the form of the more YAML centric. So this is thing coming up. But in general, Kubernetes is becoming boring because people are now abstracting Kubernetes in a way you no longer need what's been running behind the scene. Just put the application and these are running on the fly side as well, especially with the AI. Now we are more centric toward the agentic AI model, where Kubernetes is becoming a layer that has already been sit in behind the scene, but is no longer being very attractive to the all of the nerdy people out there as well. So it's becoming boring, I believe. We'll look forward to see what the things happening in the Atlanta, Georgia. And remember, Richard, we will be live streaming again KubeCon Atlanta.
I hope so. I hope so. So yeah, keep an eye on that, guys. We'll definitely try and make that happen. Okay, so the third video that I've chosen is called Cloud Wars. Now, this was actually a discussion around virtualization. So the actual subtitle is virtualization dead? I decided to have a little bit more fun with the intro. So if you haven't checked out the intro, do check it out. I'm sure you'll, especially if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll probably enjoy that. So I was paying homage to Star Wars in this particular video. It actually took a lot of time to get the intro going. The video was actually straightforward. Leo Stelik is a dear friend of mine, so he and I have been discussing and doing some videos together. Anyway, I'll provide you some more information on Leo because he's actually got his own channel. It's the Skeptical Techie, so he's putting out some really good content and thought-provoking conversations around various IT topics. Yeah, so this one is virtualization dead? Now, I've kind of been doing this series for a while. It's kind of a loosely coupled series of talks. The previous ones were, is the operating system dead? We talked about, is DevOps dead? And also more recently, I think it was late last year, with Leo, is OpenStack dead? So these were the three previous episodes of this series. So hence why this episode is called episode 4, because of the previous 3. But we're almost kind of there in terms of this series. There will be, I think, probably 1 or 2 more in this series that I'm doing, and it's kind of the Dead Tech series, as I call it. And on this one, we really kind of wanted to, do a proper comparison of virtual machines versus containers, looking at containers as kind of being more efficient and essentially either the next or the current unit of standard computing, if you like. And obviously, as we said, maybe WebAssembly being the next one. And also we kind of looked at how really virtual machines are no longer viable when it comes to today's modern architectures, like things like Gen AI workloads and so on. VMs are just kind of really getting in the way, and they're cumbersome in terms of those things. Also, the other thing that we really wanted to highlight, and I was very interested in highlighting, was how with virtual machines, the software stack is more bloated and expensive when it comes to things like licensing. So that's a really big point, I think, that I wanted to highlight during that. And obviously Leo came in with his thoughts on it as well. So yeah, Cloud Wars, is virtualization dead? Was the third video from my list.
Wonderful. I think these are some very, very good conversations. I think more of the enterprises and that kind of even who want to move into the newer domains of the tech sector. I think these are very centric, from the open source to the Kubernetes to the virtualization is dead. I think these are more critical topic as than ever. But Richard, we have to move up to the next phase. We hosted some streams, I guess, if I'm not wrong. There are some very
Yes, we did. We certainly did do some joint live streams so far this year.
Yes.
So
let's talk about.
We started. What was the first one? SueCon. 25, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
absolutely. So,
yeah, so that was the first one. State of Open Con 2025 was the first one that Sam and I live streamed. This is becoming really a de facto sort of London event for all things open source. So it actually covers mainly, although that kind of probably covers mainly software, but there's also things like open hardware. So RISC-V, the Open Compute Project, and various other ones are also covered. We did a couple of interviews. I think we covered 2 days of the event. We did a couple of interviews. So we had Anne Schlumer, who's the CEO for Picona. She was with us, and we had a really fantastic interview with Anne. And we should really get her back on again, Saim. I think we should have another conversation with Anne. She was really fantastic on that. And I think I have the right title. I will tell you later. I won't tell you guys right now. Maybe see it later on our channels, but we'll definitely have Anne back on again. She was really great guest. And then also we had the chance to really sort of get the vibe of SUCON 25 with Cheryl Hung. So Cheryl Hung was there. She's the Senior Director for Infrastructure Ecosystems at ARM, or at least she was at the time. I don't believe she's there anymore at the moment. I think she's working on a secret project, she said. So I'm curious to know. Do tell us, Cheryl, what's going on. Anyway, that was the second interview. And then we did our usual showcase crawl. So I think I spoke to a number of the vendors there as well, which was fantastic. So caught up with some people. Link for this particular live stream is in the description, guys, so go and check it out. Had really lots of fun at SUCON 25. The second one was probably the biggest one that we covered for the year. So that was KubeCon London. The way I'm going to introduce it is to say it was the conference that broke all attendance records ever. Any other KubeCon, forget it. This was the biggest attendance record in the history of KubeCon conferences, which was fantastic. And I was so happy that London actually made that happen, which was great. On this one, we were joined by our lovely friend Colin Griffin. Shout out to Colin from Crumware. Colin was our other field reporter. So myself and Colin were the two live stream reporters. This is the first time we actually had two field reporters at a conference. So if you maybe watch the video or watch the live stream, you remember that we actually described the conference as being in two major halls on a kind of a massive corridor at the conference center, the Excel conference center in London. And you had kind of a northern hall and a southern hall. So while Colin was in one of the halls, I was covering the other hall, which was fantastic to actually do. And Saim was kind of playing the director of the live stream and kind of cutting between us and moving things along as we were sort of interviewing people, doing the showcase crawl and various other things as well. Huge emphasis again on platform engineering. In fact, the first day we did, I think, 3 days of live streaming. First day we actually spent it exclusively with Colin, because I wasn't there for the first day, but Colin was. He was kind of doing some of the early conferences, and there was, I think, one around platform engineering. He's part of that sort of group and the committees there. It was good to actually just get the latest from Colin around platform engineering, seeing how platform engineering is kind of expanding. Grateful for some of the demos and the discussions that we had. Lots of people, far too many to actually mention. We'll kind of maybe just go through some of the companies in a minute. But the one I really enjoyed, I think the most was the backstage demo that the guys from Spotify did for us, which was very impromptu. I was only expecting to actually see that I would be there for one of the just kind of a normal conversation and just kind of talk to one of the people, but it was actually good to see that we managed to have a good full demo on backstage as well. And then obviously we did some, like I said, guest interviews. So we had the guys from Nermata, we spoke to people from Microsoft, and then during the crawl, the showcase crawl, we did Syntasso. I think Cloud Casa was there, Cloudsmith, Cosmonic, Buoyant again, and GitLab also came in as well. So yeah, it was really good. And I mean, obviously, KubeCon is massive. This was, as we said, the biggest attendance. But surprisingly, as we said, I think during and maybe when we were reflecting, Saim, it wasn't really that crowded. It didn't feel like it was crowded. There was actually a lot of spaces around. You could walk around easily. You could talk to most people. Maybe during the breaks and the lunch periods, the middle, the corridor in the middle was kind of getting a little bit crowded. But actually, the halls themselves were really good. I think the only things that were full were the keynotes. When the keynotes happened, everything got clogged up. Yeah, so that was kind of KubeCon. I think there's probably too much to mention, so I would advise you guys to check out the links in the description of the video. Like I said, we did 3 days of KubeCon coverage. We really, I mean, I don't know how many hours we did on this one, Saim. Probably 7+ again or something. I can't remember.
Yes, absolutely. I think there's 3 days of live stream and more than I think 6+ hours of the live stream covering. It's huge, but I think we learned a lot, especially in the third day. We able to pick up in the showcase area.
Yes.
And we actually able to pick up some very cool companies and what they have been doing in the Kubernetes. In general, what their focus was. It's been really resonating to see where as industry, as vendor are actually targeting the most formidable areas.
Yes, indeed, and I think we did a end of conference review with Colin as well. So I think Saim's released that on his channel. We did some offline interviews, which again I will be releasing on my channel as well. So there's lots of those coming through. It's just a lot of content. So Saim and I are kind of trying to process through this stuff as quickly and as best as we can. Sometimes it takes us longer to actually achieve that, but just purely because of the backlog that we have. Okay, so the next live stream event for us was AWS Summit in London. So this was an absolutely gigantic turnout. Now, we thought that KubeCon London was big, around, I think, 12,500 or 13,000 people. But AWS Summit London broke all the records. I think well over 40,000 people had actually registered. And according to a very close source from AWS that I know, a very good friend of mine, he said actually there were between 20 or 25,000 attendees at AWS Summit London. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I think that is probably the biggest attendance ever that AWS Summit London has actually had. And again, as we said before for KubeCon, it didn't actually feel too crowded. The corridor in the middle, as we said, yes, that was kind of getting busy. Felt busy when the keynotes were finishing, or there was a break, or during the lunch period. But otherwise, actually, it felt really fine. I was easily able to traverse between the two halls, as we said, the northern and southern halls again. So it was the same venue as KubeCon, by the way. So Excel London again. Yeah, easy to kind of move around, easy to be able to talk to people. Again, Saim, we did a massive number of interviews. I can't remember how many we did, and it was obviously one day only to achieve all of that. I spoke to some favorites of mine like Stack Guardian, Aviatrix. We also managed to catch Steph Gooch. So shout out to Steph from AWS. She was actually at the AWS stand, so we had some more conversations with her around cloud cost management, FinOps, cost optimization, things like that, and loads more. So there's a whole bunch of those again on the live stream, guys. Do go and check out the video. Again, had lots of fun there. And the fantastic thing about AWS Summit London was that I got invited to the after show party. So I was there to see some of the stuff that was happening after the conference, and we actually continued the live stream from AWS Summit. We kind of hung around until we got kicked out by security guards, and then we carried on the live stream, and we went down to the after show party, which I was invited to. So that was really fantastic. I think it was it was the guys from the Scale Factory. So thank you again to the Scale Factory for inviting me to the after show party. Really appreciate that. And we got a chance to speak to the Scale Factory's field CTO as well. So we did another interview just out on the street outside the bar where the conference, or where the the after show party was actually happening. It was absolutely massive. It was full of people there as well. So again, yeah, we had a little conversation. I showed around the bar area, and then we went outside and had a chat with the field CTO from Scale Factory. So yeah, another, I think, successful conference, AWS Summit. It's probably something that we will try and cover again. I've actually done reviews of it in the past. So again, if you kind of want to dig back on some of the older videos on the Cloud Therapist channel, do that. You'll see reviews from me and interviews and various other things. But this time, actually, it was probably better doing it as a live stream. A lot more fun, certainly, doing that. Okay, and then the most recent one, Saim, that we did was PlatformCon London. Now, this actually came up. Again, this is the first time we're covering this as a live stream. So whereas I think KubeCon we did last year, we did the AWS reInvent last year in Las Vegas, obviously AWS Summit in London this year. PlatformCon was actually it was a very fortuitous kind of thing that happened. So I actually got just an email from somebody as a newsletter about PlatformCon, and they said, "Oh, if you want to attend, please you can go and register and pay the ticket or whatever." So I actually emailed them back and said, "Well, how about if I actually cover your conference in a live stream on my YouTube channel?" Fantastically, to their credit, the organizers actually agreed to that. So they gave me access as part of the media to the conference itself. And then again, yes, Saim and I were able to actually live stream the conference itself. So it's actually held at a place called Convene, which is the building is called Sandcroft, which is near St. Paul's Cathedral. And we actually started our live stream on the Millennium Bridge. I just thought it would be kind of cool to do a little bit of a scenery. It was a nice, beautiful, sunny day. The sun was blasting down in London, which is quite rare. So I said to Saim before we start the live stream, I said, "Hey, why don't we start like with a view of London somewhere? Talk about bridges, and bridges are platforms, right?" So we kind of played on that theme. You'll see at the beginning of that, Saim picks up on the theme of bridges and platforms that we're standing on, platforms that we're going to, and things like that, which was a lot of fun to do. So I did a pan kind of London, kind of showed you all the other bridges and some of the buildings in the distance and so on. So that was from the Millennium Bridge, which is a footpath only bridge. There's no vehicles on that bridge. And then we walked straight down, and as you walk straight down, you come across St. Paul's Cathedral, so it's right in front of you, and you'll see that in the video. So we kind of walked around the cathedral building itself, and then entered the Convene Sandcroft building for the conference, went upstairs, and there was the conference there. So again, really good sort of coverage of lots of topics at the conference. Again, I'm not going to be able to do that all justice here. But the main takeaway really was that, this was very much a platform engineering conference. As we saw, I think, Saim, from the schedule, they were doing other conferences throughout the week. So there were virtual ones. There was one in New York, I believe, that they did the following day. Some of the organizers that I spoke to were flying to New York overnight to get to New York for the next day as well, to be at the New York conference. So they had actually been running conferences throughout the week. And I believe all this content should be either on the YouTube channel or on the PlatformCon website. So again, we'll provide some descriptions in the video and some links for you. It was very much kind of focused on platform engineering. So again, nice to see that kind of topic is expanding, and there's more conversations around it. And now you're able to explore lots of different areas of platform engineering. So having its own conference, is really, I think, it kind of just shows that platform engineering has arrived. Again, the platform engineering tools are kind of advancing. We did some views of that. And again, if you look at, as we said, the KubeCon London, you'll see the demo backstage, which is probably one of the more prominent ones from the CNCF landscape. There's generally, I kind of saw a lot more awareness and activity really, moving towards platform engineering at PlatformCon. I'm still personally kind of skeptical in terms of how enterprises will adopt it and kind of realign themselves really to work in this sort of relatively new discipline. It's still a shift left movement as far as I'm concerned, although you won't hear the people within platform engineering call it that, but to me it is a shift left. But yeah, nobody's really going to nobody's admitted to that. But there have been the occasional, I think I've seen an article, I'll try and find them and then again link them in the description for you, where people are saying, we have to make this work, right? Because a lot of people, when platform engineering came online, I don't know about you, Saim, and what was your view, but certainly when it came online, a lot of people were saying, is DevOps dead? Which is, again, goes back to my series of, dead tech that I did last year. And even I sort of picked up on that. Did you kind of get any of that sort of vibe as well, Saim?
Yes, absolutely. I think that for some of the platform engineering, we did so much stuff. And I won't actually tease people, but there's so much more coming up into our channel. But it's been, I think this year PlatformCon in general has a very nice theme. We know it's AI been hitting some of the corner with the platform engineering. But this year, I think some of the talk I able to listen to, they have some very enterprising niche use cases. So I think there's 500 hour of content been there on the YouTube channel. Right. And also I think they did a conclusionary video or live stream 2 days before while we're recording this episode. So there's always been also added on the radar as well. But I think the shift is simply like, I think we're now moving into this thing, right? Backstage is not the only platform engineering. There's always so much more than backstage or cross-plane, the tooling in general. So I think that one of the talks I'm able to hear and listen is this ideology of you live in a very oldie stack. Now you move into the newer version of cloud native, PASM or container style infrastructure, but there's nothing available between how you want to move into these phases. So I think that is where I like the theme of this year conference, being telling you what being done on each of these phases and what are the KPIs, because if we don't have KPIs, we don't no longer understand, are we heading to the platform engineering or are we renaming the thing what we already been doing? We're doing DevOps, but now we're calling it the platform engineering. Right. So it's a KPIs layer and observability in general has been a very good topic this year of the PlatformCon. And me and Richard will be chasing some guests from the PlatformCon to have some pre-embedded, some live stream or some pre-recorded talks coming up your ways.
Definitely. Fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, and talking of guests for this particular live stream. So we had again Nikki Watts from Trifork. She's the CTO for Trifork. Steve Fenton, who's the director of developer relations at Octopus Deploy, and Adrian Mertz as well, who's the head of developer relations at ChainGuard. We also did again a showcase crawl. So I was again the field reporter. So we spoke to the likes of Abby Bankser from Syntasso, Brent Hunter from Gravity, Daniel Bryant also from Syntasso was on hand to kind of have a chat with us. Jonathan Lassman from Firefly. Going to do hopefully a little bit more on Firefly soon in the future. Nigel Douglas from Classmith. Lukman Varakchia, apologies if I'm butchering the name there, from Orcus. So again, very interesting platform from them. Eric Paulson, the field CTO from Coder. Tom Finch from ChainGuard is a SE lead from ChainGuard. And Tobias Babin, who's the technical documentation technical specialist from Humanitech as well. So again, lots of live streams, and I mean that's like 6 or 7, 8, what was it, discussions that we did as well. So in the showcase area, so that was very good. I think we picked up a huge amount from PlatformCon. And all more to it. I think I really want to kind of see that. I really want to see a lot more than that. If we're going to kind of move away from classic DevOps, I think we really need to see sort of platform engineering coming into its own and owning the space really, and kind of taking over the space and being the de facto standard, if that's what it wants to be. Like I said, yeah. I still have my doubts. We still need to remain skeptical and inquisitive and kind of do pushback and just be challenging on these things. Kind of make sure that people have thought about all these things and the upheaval that may come for enterprises because of this kind of shift left movement to platform engineering. Now, Saim, my friend, are you ready for our big announcement?
Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Excellent. Okay, so we are proud to announce that we are going to be doing a 6-part platform engineering series. We're going to be talking about platform engineering, and the Cloud Therapist channel is very proud to be working with Cloud Native FM to announce this 6-part series of panel talks purely on the subject of platform engineering. So Saim and I will be doing 3 talks each on the topic. We're going to be focusing and coming at platform engineering from really different angles. So I have no idea what we're going to call the series. It might just be called the 6-part series on platform engineering. Who knows? But the point is that we're still kind of under construction on that, but hopefully you'll see actually episodes from that coming up soon. So do keep an eye on that. We will look at things like the internal developer platforms or portals, as some people like to call it. How you're going to adopt platform engineering, so adoption of that, how to actually implement it, how to shift to platform engineering, maybe from classic DevOps or wherever you're coming from, and kind of how to really organize your teams and so on. So there's like 6 themes under that sort of platform engineering umbrella that we picked on. We'll talk a little bit more about this and mention them to you in the future, so look out for some announcements from us. So 3 of these talks will be available on the Cloud Therapist YouTube channel, and 3 will be on Cloud Native FM. We hope that we're going to do 1 episode on Saim's channel and 1 episode on mine, and we're going to continue in that sequence. It all depends on the guests that we're inviting, so we'll see how that's going to work out. But unlike Disney and Marvel's films and TV series, you don't have to watch all of the others in this series in order to understand what is going on in the one that you happen to have chosen to watch. So we're going to make them all individual. They're all about platform engineering, as we said, looking at it from different angles, but each of the episodes are going to be individual, different guests and so on. So more info on the series, including our special co-host. There will be a person who will be co-hosting with us on all 6 episodes. So not even Saim and I are going to be appearing in all of the 6 episodes, even though these are all appearing, all these videos are on our channels. But even Saim and I don't have that privilege of being in all 6 episodes, but there will be a special co-host who will be the anchor. That person will be appearing in all 6 episodes in this series. So it's all coming your way very soon. So if you're interested in platform engineering and all these kind of topics that we're going to talk about, be sure to keep your notifications on for both our channels to make sure that you get to see the episodes and be notified of the episodes as soon as they appear. If you happen to be watching this months later or years later, I think most of the content is, I'm betting, still going to be relevant. So do go back and check out maybe the playlist that we put together or the individual videos as well. I think it's all still going to be quite relevant, as I'm finding out with other topics that I've reviewed from and talked about in the past. So go check out the live streams that we talked about today. Look out for the 6-part series on our channel. And yeah, we'll provide you links in the description for all the live streams, as we said in the videos. So, Saim, let's do a little bit, just a teeny weeny little bit of looking forward, Saim. So what can folks expect to see on your channel in the next 6 months of 2025?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's something coming up. One of the things I'm really working on, I've been a part of the Cloud Native Platform Associate exam. And there's a bunch of questions coming on my way that how to prepare for this exam. I believe this is a very natural exam to the platform engineering study guide. If you happen to live in a platform engineering space, there's not enough testing in environment is available. So this exam is part of the testing. So one of the episode me and Chris Plank will be working on is to actually help you crack this exam. There's not enough content out there internet. So that's is actually been planning. Hopefully, if things working as expected, September is a time frame when this presentation or live stream will be actually added into my YouTube channel as well. And there's a bunch of other Kubernetes related relevant updates coming into the YouTube channel as well. There's a recent transitioning to some of the newer set of paradigm into the Kubernetes. I want to see how things are evolving with the AI, especially in the Kubernetes space.
Yeah.
And also there are a few episodes are coming up on the observability side. I think observability is a very corner to the infrastructure space. And I've been lacking with some of the stuff on my YouTube channel, the observability side. Hopefully something from Prometheus, Grafana, and some other vendor-specific tool we will be covering in the later of this year as well. And also a bunch of the live stream with Richard. Wherever Richard goes, I will actually be chasing him from online, connecting into the Slack and ask them, Richard, let's tune your gear up for this upcoming live stream. And then boom, there's a live stream in your way. So there are some bunch of surprises coming your way. We haven't planned some of the stuff, but we always did some surprises on our YouTube channel. So that's people should be able to understand if they've been a subscriber to our YouTube channel for a very long time.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think we've, as you said, we have some more live streams obviously coming up and some exclusive deals that we've been making recently. So yeah, that'll be all on both our channels. So yeah, as far as Cloud Therapist channel is concerned, well, expect more of the regular segments. So Cloud State of Play will continue. As you've probably seen, I have some guests over the summer period. So maybe in the next couple of episodes, we'll have some more guests as well. AI State of Play will be making a return as well. So we're going to be picking up a little bit more of the news from 2024. 2024 was such a really influential year in sort of AI and the Gen AI space and things like LLMs and so on. I felt it was really important that we cover, you know, the some of the highlights from the events and things in the news that actually happened last year. So we'll continue that series and we'll hopefully finish off the next sort of 3 episodes from 2024 and then kind of continue into this year. It'll be more unfiltered episodes, so look out for those. And hopefully at least one new channel segment coming up before Christmas. So again, do look out for that. There'll be lots of details on that. In terms of the actual talks, stuff like value stream management, I want to really kind of follow up on that with things like flow visualization. So that'll be one of the topics, that I want to pick up on. More talks around generative AI and AI agents, and also one on AI governance and compliance. So things like the EU AI Act and how does that kind of affect organizations using AI in terms of data and the models and interaction with customers and end users and so on. So more reviews of events as well. So we've obviously done quite a lot of live streams. I've done lots of coverage for those. So we're going to have lots of those as well. And as Saim, I think, said earlier, more live streams that we'll be working on together as well, and making some other announcements, some new exclusive deals that we've put together. Okay, so guys, we hope that you've enjoyed this recap or recall of videos from both our channels. This has been kind of really the first half of 2025. So looking at the sort of the previous 6 months and what we've done on our channels. Thank you, Saim, very much for sharing hosting duties with me. I've enjoyed kind of really looking back, and I think it's really useful to not only make folks kind of aware of what we've delivered so far, considering both our sort of limited time and resources that we have to do, to run these channels. I think it's also nice to kind of just look back with a bit of pride on our achievements as well from the last 6 months and enjoy some of the moments again and spread the word to our wider audience as well, who, I don't know, maybe they've just not heard of these videos or they're not aware that we do live streams and things like that. So I think it's always good to be able to highlight that to you guys so you can kind of have awareness of everything, and there's lots and lots of content for you to binge watch if that's what you fancy doing on your weekends. Thanks all for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to both our channels, that's Cloud Therapist channel and Cloud Native FM channel. It really does support us to make more of this content, yeah, I think we will continue to do that as long as you support us and continue to comment and like and share and subscribe and things like that. And that will be, I think, the aim for us going forward in the future. We will see you soon.
Thank you, guys.